Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome into my MLB 16 The Show season mode with the Chicago White Sox. This is the second game of the 2016 season. We lost the first game to these Oakland Athletics by a final score of 6-0. So I'm pretty sure if you've followed baseball for any amount of time, you know that it's hard to win a game if you don't score more runs than the other team. So I'm kind of trying to do that as much as I can here in this franchise mode. But here's Adam Eaton getting things going early here in the first inning by getting a single up the middle and then stealing second base. One of the things that I like to do in baseball video games is really take advantage of the speed that I have available to me with the players. So here's Melky Cabrera hitting a fly out to center field. I don't know why I kept that in there because nothing ended up happening. And then here's Abreu going opposite field for his first home run of the 2016 season. Jose Abreu is a player I'm very much looking forward to using throughout the entirety of a season mode and an entire franchise, to be honest, because I don't intend to trade him or let him go to free agency anytime soon. So it's going to be fun having Jose Abreu around for a while. Then here is Dejaner Navarro a little bit later in the game, blasting a home run that earned me a trophy. That might have actually been the same inning, because I think the twice as nice trophy is for hitting 2 home runs in an inning. Something like that anyway. But yeah, that was Dejaner Navarro. And then here's Avisail Garcia with a single into right field. Garcia is a player who I mentioned in the last episode about the first game that I host a podcast for Southside Showdown, which is the White Sox blog in the Fansided network of blogs. I host a podcast called The Word on 35th Street, and I've talked many times on that podcast about how Avisail Garcia is, to me, one of the most confusing players in all of baseball, because he is built like an absolute tank. He's built like a guy who should be crushing the ball 450 feet every time he comes up to bat. But all he does is hit little ground balls through the hole, or he'll hit a line drive right at somebody, and he doesn't have the power that he looks like he should have. And I don't know why I did that, but whatever. I'm not perfect, okay? I'm sure we've all done stupid plays in many different sports games. But yeah, Avi Garcia, I'm looking forward to unleashing his full video game potential, even if his real life counterpart isn't quite as productive. So here is Brett Lowry, another player that I'm super pumped to be using. I love this White Sox team. All right, so the real team, I mean, lately they've been playing okay. Today is September 16th, and the White Sox just came off of a win against the Kansas City Royals. They started off great this season. In the middle of the season, they were absolute garbage, and now at the end, they're deciding to turn it up right in time for them to play themselves out of a good draft pick. But on paper, the 2016 White Sox are an amazing team. So I am very much looking forward to using all the talent and the raw potential that they have in the video game version. And it's kind of funny talking about all this because, like I mentioned in the first episode, I've played quite a few games out. I'm already to the end of April. So I know what's coming in the future. I can't talk about it because we're on this adventure together. I'm probably going to slow down and not play too far ahead, so that if anybody watches and you guys comment and ask me to trade somebody or to start somebody a little bit more, I want to be able to do that sooner rather than later. So I'm not going to play ahead too much further. I'll probably get into May this weekend, but I want to get a good portion of these videos posted before I continue to play. So yeah, this White Sox team in MLB 16 The Show is really great. I'm using the Operation Sports Forum opening day roster patch that they put out all the way back in April. I had started a franchise with the White Sox and got about halfway into the first game before I thought, this is stupid. I'm not going to have any of the prospects. I'm not going to have Tim Anderson. Not going to have anybody. So I quit that, loaded up the Operation Sports Forum roster save that I fortunately still had on my hard drive, and then started it with that. So I have all the prospects. All the prospects are in baseball. Everybody's got their good players. So maybe later in the season we will see Tim Anderson. And I'm not saying that because I know that it already happens. I haven't called him up yet. But he's not that great in the game. I think his overall is 65 or 66. He's got good potential. He's got either C or B potential, but I don't know that I would call him up during the season at any point. I really like having Tyler Saladino at shortstop. Not going to be starting Jimmy Rollins too often. Even though the real White Sox did that, I'm going to keep Rollins coming off the bench. So Saladino will be my everyday shortstop, and you'll come to see that he's quite the player. So the White Sox do take the second game here, the opening series against the Oakland Athletics. There we see the boys celebrating out in center field. We really crushed them, minus a couple of those base running blunders that made their way into the highlights earlier. It was an absolute rout, and Jose Quintana was dominant. That's another thing. I'll probably talk about the pitching staff a little bit more in the next video, but man, just every aspect of this White Sox team, I'm super excited to be playing as them for this franchise mode. So the final score was 6-2. White Sox smashed 18 hits. Oakland only had 5 hits. You can see the line score for Quintana. He went the complete game, only giving up those 5 hits. So the White Sox win 6-2. Join me next time for another White Sox game, because that's what I'm doing. Yeah.